The 50 million Kenya shillings awarded to me is an insult to my fundamental rights and freedoms and a mockery of the Constitution. Kama mtu na hara, uwezi shona mkundu. I want to tell William Ruto, and I don't want to sound naughty, but I want to be very realistic. You cannot cure diarrhea by stitching the anus.
In politics, the most dangerous weapon you can give your enemy is the assumption that you are an idiot.
Gachagua is not going to be the next president of anything other than the tea factory in his village.
Rigathi Gachagua is just like that madman who people love to see in the market because he entertains them. But they cannot take that madman to their home states. So he needs to understand that he's in a political party where the party leader is not accepted. And I've told him, and probably he's not believing, Kenyans are okay with Rigathi Gachagua doing the opposition politics, but Kenyans will not elect because of his caliber.
In 2022, the entire Kenyan internet shared a single collective laugh at this man. He was dismissed as a political accident, an unpolished, blunt-speaking bureaucrat who wore suits 3 sizes too big and talked endlessly about serving rice and meat at State House. The elite called him a liability, and the internet called him a meme.
And some young girl somewhere decided she likes me. She likes the way I talk. She is happy I'm a truthful man. I say it as it is. And decided to come up with a name to make life easier for me and my fans. And she came up with Riggy G. We'll move with the rest of Kenya. Na sisi ndio tutasaidia wa Kenya kukomboa nchi hii. And we must use our numbers, which are the largest in the country, to liberate this country.
But Gachagua didn't fight the joke. He did something far more calculated. He bought it. He hired the student who coined the nickname, stepped out in designer-tailored suits, and stepped directly into the hearts of the grassroots. By the time his opponents realized what was happening, the joke was over. The meme had become the second most powerful man in the Republic of Kenya.
May I request that you place your left hand on the Constitution?
But because there's a God in heaven, today, an ordinary child, born by ordinary parents, brought up in an ordinary village, brought up in an ordinary way, growing up in an ordinary manner, because there is God in heaven, he is the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces. I want to tell the people of Kenya, President William Ruto and all of us who have worked with him, take no credit for this victory. It was not possible for us to win this election. It was through the heart of God that today an ordinary child has been born in as president.
But inside the walls of State House, the political honeymoon was short-lived. A deputy president who commands a fanatical regional base is not just an ally, he is a threat.
Nimeona ule mshenzi Riggy G anaongea sijui kule Murang'a, anasema ati magari, pikipiki, sijui mitungi ya maziwa, sijui nini, ati William Ruto ametumana hapa. Nataka niambie wewe Riggy G, ujinga mimi usiniletee, pelekea watu wengine. Mimi nimefanya kazi kwa miaka mingi. Wewe ulishinda ukaa kwa serikali, ulishinda kutafuta marafiki. Hiyo Murang'a unaongea hapa penye unaongea sijui, wewe umepea nini hao watu? Kazi yako kila siku ni kuamka na kuhara kwa mdomo yako. Unahara kwa mdomo yako. Hakuna siku unapanga mambo ya maendeleo. Ulikuwa kwa uongozi kwa mwaka 2. Utuoneshe toilet tulijenga huko Mount Kenya. Utuongeze kazi ulifanya. Sasa naona sasa anaongea maneno mengi. Ati hivi yote William Ruto ametuma. Waambie Riggy G waache ujinga na waache ushenzi. Sisi tutafanya kazi, tutafanyia wananchi wetu kazi, tutatembea hiyo Mount Kenya, hatuwezi tukatembea bure vile unatembea bure ukiongea matope. Na nataka nikuambia wewe Mr. Dorcas, Wacha kwanza kutembea na bibi yako kila siku. Hakuna mwanaume anatembeanga na mwanamke akitembea akifanya siasa. Wacha ujinga na wache utoto.
Ule Kajieda, Uhuru alimpeleka kotini kwa sababu ya kuiba mali ya wananchi. Nikampatia nafasi, akaenda akakuwa mwizi ya mambo ya kahawa, akaenda kuungana na cartel. Akaenda huko ati anapigana na pombe, akakuwa extortionist kwa wale wafanyabiashara. Akatoka hapo, akaenda akaiba mali ya ndugu yake. Bibi ya ndugu yake wanahangaika, watoto wa ndugu yake wanahangaika, na yeye anajaribu kutumia kifua to intimidate them. Ameenda mpaka akaua wasichana, alafu anataka kutuambia ataongoza Kenya. Mtu kumbavu kama hiyo anaweza kuongoza taifa ya nani?
When the political machinery in Nairobi decides to eliminate a target, it moves with terrifying clinical speed. Late 2024 wasn't a trial, it was a clinical execution.
The Deputy President called Parliament and this National Assembly a theater of the absurd, a house of ridicule, a house which processes trash. That's what he said about this Parliament. The Deputy President has taken himself and wants to be a tribal king of the Murima, ready to break the country, sow seeds of disunity for his own political gain. And this chamber, today, by the end of the day, we must have no Deputy President who wants to balkanize this country.
The DP and theirs have gone through the documents. There are various clips where the DP repeats this, that Kenya is a company and those who did not vote for Kenya Kwanza are not entitled to enjoy the proceeds from that company. What worries me, Mr. Speaker, is that with a straight face, the DP could appear on live television and justify these utterances. How does he justify it? He says that he is entitled to do that because there are some partisan political agreements or promises that were made. What does that mean? The DP elevates promises at a political party level above the National Cohesion and Integration Act, Section 13. He elevates those promises at a political party level above the Constitution of Kenya. There are 15 different articles that speaks against this. The fact that the DP can think that he can justify such utterances and elevate these agreements above the law and the Constitution is the clearest evidence that he must go because he has breached the Constitution.
281 members of parliament voted to strip him of his title. The trap had sprung. Riggy G was cornered.
The results of the division on the motion are as follows. Abstentions 1. The noes 44. The ayes 281. So the ayes have it.
Then came the night of October 17th. The Senate trial reached its climax. Rigathi Gachagua was scheduled to take the stand to defend his career, his wealth, and his honor.
There are a number of doctors, a team of doctors, who are looking after the deputy president. Because of his condition, I was not able to directly talk to him on the advice of his doctors. They said he must have complete rest for the time being. I was, however, informed by his doctors that he is currently suffering intense chest pains. I did not want to inquire beyond that, Mheshimiwa Speaker.
He never showed up. As his lawyers scrambled, word leaked out. The deputy president has been rushed to the hospital with severe chest pains, but the state machine refused to pause the clock. While he lay in the hospital bed, the Senate voted, the gavel dropped, and within hours, a new deputy president was sworn into office. It seemed like the definitive, humiliating end of the Riggy G era.
Kenya is the country of possibility. Your Excellency, for a person such as I to stand here today and take oath of the office of the Deputy President, it can only happen in Kenya. Your Excellency, I was born 52 years ago in one of the remotest parts of Kenya. But because Kenya is the land and the homeland of possibilities, today, I, perhaps the most unlikely person, is standing here today because Kenya has made it possible for anybody to become anything in this country.
Except it wasn't the end. Flash forward to June 2026. After a grueling multi-year-long legal war, the High Court delivered a landmark ruling. While the judges upheld the political reality of his removal, they dropped a legal bombshell. The state had flagrantly violated his constitutional right to a fair hearing while he was incapacitated.
That is the issue of a fair trial. The gist of this issue turns on whether His Excellency Gachagua was subjected to a lawful and fair trial process within the meaning of Articles 47 and 50 of the Constitution. The petitioners contended that the Senate's conduct of the impeachment trial was fundamentally and irreparably flawed, falling far short of the constitutional standards of fairness, legality, and procedural propriety granted to His Excellency Gachagua under the stated provisions. Their challenge on this ground was advanced on several distinct and cumulative bases. They argued that His Excellency Gachagua was denied his right to a fair trial when, having fallen ill and being hospitalized on the 17th of October 2024, the Senate refused adjournment request and proceeded in his absence, ultimately voting on 5 of the impeachment charges. That the Senate was constitutionally bound under Article 145(3)(b) and 145(4)(6) to appoint a special committee of 11 members to investigate the charges. By defeating the motion to establish such a committee and proceeding by plenary, the Senate deprived him of his right under Article 145(5) to appear and be represented before an independent investigative body.
The court awarded him a staggering 50 million Kenyan shillings in damages. But Gachagua didn't care about the money. He cared about the narrative. The court had just handed him the ultimate political asset, proof of martyrdom.
While we respect the ruling of the High Court, we totally and fundamentally disagree on the interpretation of the law and application of facts. The long-standing legal principle of natural justice and the right to a fair hearing has been trashed and ignored in broad daylight. The 50 million Kenya shillings awarded to me is an insult to my fundamental rights and freedoms and a mockery of the Constitution. We are not interested. Money was never the issue here. Justice and constitutional supremacy were.
Welcome to the current reality of Kenyan politics. If the establishment thought impeachment would bury Rigathi Gachagua, they completely miscalculated the nature of the man. He has shed the restrictions of the State House and fully rebranded as the commander of the newly formed Democratic for Citizens Party, DCP.
Na sisi sio wa kabila, Huyu William Ruto tukimchagua alikuwa anaitwa Kamau, alikuwa anaitwa Karanja, alikuwa anaitwa Mutuma, alikuwa anaitwa Njeru, si alikuwa ni Kipchirchir? Mbona anasema sisi ni wakabila? And the same way tuliunga yeye mkono, tunaweza unga Wafula, si ndio? Yeah. Tunaweza unga Mwende, si ndio? Si ndio? Sisi yeye ajui sisi vizuri. He doesn't know us. Yeah? Si ndio? Sisi hata Odhiambo tunaweza unga mkono, si ndio? Kwani iko nini? Hata Nyambane, si ndio? Si ndio? Hata Oleseki, si ndio? We are the same people, na hakuna pahali tumeenda, tuko tu hapa.
Look at his moves from just days ago. While the current administration fights to push through the highly unpopular Finance Bill 2026, Gachagua didn't stay neutral. He systematically organized his allied lawmakers to reject the tax bill entirely, publicly declaring the dissenting MPs as the true sons and daughters of the Mau Mau.
I want to ask our members of parliament in the National Assembly, those who believe that they serve the people who elected them, to be the forefront in rejecting on the floor the 2026 finance bill. And the other side, the flower girls of William Ruto, the flower girls who are the majority, will want to vote by acclamation. Please be present to force a division so that Kenyans can know who voted with them and who voted against them, so that they can keep a record, so that next year, in another 14 months, they can pay them back in kind. So that is my plea, that please be present on that day, so that you can force a division, so that it is known, it's on record, who has voted with the people of Kenya and who has voted against the people of Kenya.
By turning a dry legislative vote into a litmus test for regional loyalty, he has effectively painted the current regime into a corner. He is no longer defending himself from an impeachment. He is prosecuting the government on behalf of an overtaxed populace.
I want to support that the new administration next year will do away with the housing levy. And I want to put Kenyans on notice. You are being asked to start paying for these houses. Please don't. You just lose your money next year. Don't throw good money after bad. Keep away from those avoidable houses. Because next year, sure as December 25 is Christmas, William Ruto and his people will go home. There will be a new administration that will do away with the housing levy. So it is foolish and unwise to put your money when you know that chances are 9 to 1, you lose your money. Again, we have seen a lot of land belonging to private people being grabbed by William Ruto and P.S. Nixon Koreil, especially here in Kiambu, where there are large tracts of land belonging to private people, the land being subdivided and sold hastily to investors. I want to put investors on notice. Please, don't buy this land.
With the August 2027 general election rapidly approaching on the horizon, Kenya's political landscape is about to face an unprecedented storm. They stripped him of his office, they took his motorcade, and they tried to break his name. But in doing so, they unleashed a Kingmaker with absolutely nothing left to lose. The political resurrection of Riggy G has officially begun.